What's going on, people? Hope we're all doing well. Welcome back to more esports talk. There's a quick follow-up video out there, the Joe Rogan controversy he was a part of a couple days back, which certainly was drawn a bit out of proportion. If you guys saw my first video on this, I'm not taking sides. I do think he heavily misworded his statement, but with context, and if you know his background and history involved in video games, I think you can let this one slide a little bit. If he could go back and reword this and maybe add to it, I think he would have worded it a bit better, as well as the entire gaming community. Some top figures out there responding about this, and I would say rightfully so, because with that 60-second clip out there, even with full context, that statement really coming off in a bit of a harsh way. So many people out there focusing on the monetary benefits when it comes time for gaming. I'll give you guys my quick 2 cents, share with you Joe Rogan's clip yet again and his background, and then read off a few responses which I either did or did not enjoy for a few reasons. In case you guys missed it, a heavy focus of this seemingly is the monetary benefit you actually get from gaming, or as Joe puts it, most people don't, and that's why it's a said waste of time. Now, it's actually Ninja, others responding about this. You know, I myself, luckily enough to actually have a job in esports. There are so many other benefits to esports, to gaming, to video games, whatever it is, besides just monetary benefits, and I've told you guys that, the making of friends, the social aspect, even maintaining friendships, especially during a pandemic time like this. There are a variety of other skills you can learn online through gaming as well. Heck, I learned how to type, on my keyboard just by playing RuneScape, and there are a laundry list of benefits out there that I have actually come by through video games, besides just a small financial gain to help me pay my rent every single month. So here is Joe's clip, guys. Very importantly, when he says I have a problem with it, he is actually referring to his own problem, his own addiction to Quake and other said video games. Just so you guys are aware of that, here is his clip, and then we'll talk about some other responses.
And video games are a real problem. They're a real problem. You know why? Because they're fucking fun.
Addictive.
And you don't, yeah, well, I have a real problem with them. And you do them, and they're real exciting, but you don't get anywhere.
Right.
It's like you could do, like martial arts, right? You could learn jiu-jitsu. You get obsessed by jiu-jitsu, and then 3 years later, you're like an elite jiu-jitsu athlete. You're entering in competitions. You're a purple belt.
You're moving up.
Yeah, you're doing well. Right. You're thinking like, I might be able to open my own school one day.
You got confidence.
Yeah, if I have 100 students and those 100 students are paying me X amount of dollars per month, I can make a living. Holy shit, I can have this would be amazing. And then you see your jiu-jitsu school, and your jiu-jitsu instructor has all these students and drives a Mercedes, and he's got a nice family, and like, that's the future. This way you're doing something exciting and fun, and you don't. Or you could just be playing fucking video games. 3 years later, you could be that same kid just playing video games, waiting for the next whatever the game is, next Xbox game to come out, and you're gonna waste your time.
So yeah, there's that, and I really do think it's been drawn out a bit out of proportion, knowing Joe's history with all of this, and I'm excited because I think this might be the movement to actually start bringing back some more gaming figures. He has not had many prominent ones. The only one I can think of is nothing from the CSGO scene. He has not had many prominent, I would say, gamers on his show, especially stemming from the esports scene. This could be the movement needed to actually get a guy like Ninja, or I know a lot of people are going to say it, you guys want someone else in there. Well, Doc is in limbo, so it can't be Dr. Dis. Maybe like a guy like Nick Merckx or Tim the Tatman can take on JRE and share their perspective, which, oh my God, I would pick that apart. Now here's Ninja's response, which I think it was very much rushed, because even Ninja focuses on the amount of ways that someone can benefit monetarily from video games, which I don't think is what I would focus on myself, but still he's a top figure. So here's what he had to say.
Saw the most recent clip going on about Joe Rogan, his comment about video games or like gamers. And I think where he was coming from, or what he was talking about specifically, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but what I watched the whole thing and try to get context of it. I watched, before and after the clip that was just, being posted on or on Twitter. It sounds like he's talking about like the top 1%, like the very odd or one-off chance that you're going to be a professional player, an esports player, and a successful one at that, right? I mean, you can be a professional esports player and, beyond like a tier 2, tier 3 org, which is not maybe paying you the most. And obviously if you're not winning and being paid a lot, you're not a big streamer, then you're not really making a lot of money. So I'm assuming he's just basically talking about, the top 1%, you're winning every tournament, you're on a top organization, you're making a shitload of money, you're successful. And I mean, he talks about how, gaming can potentially not really get you anywhere, right? You're putting a lot of time into it and you're just mindlessly playing video games. I just don't think what Joe doesn't really understand in the full context of what the gaming community is and how many different avenues you can be successful in gaming. I mean, there's streaming, just content creation, YouTube, you know, being a professional player, being a freaking coach. I mean, like, you don't like you can be incredibly understanding of a game, but not have the physical capacity to be able to, you know, get pentakills every single round and, you know, every single game. But that doesn't mean that, you know, there's not a job for you, right? That doesn't mean there's not a place for you in the gaming community where you can be successful, especially when, you know, coaches are being valued more and more in the gaming community now, which is a beautiful thing to see because coaches have been in sports forever. So, I mean, I'd love to go on and talk about it more, but I think that if you guys are in the gaming scene, we all know there are so many different ways you can be successful. There's so many different ways that you can make a living out of it. So keep gaming, continue to educate yourselves, and love you guys. And also would love to be on the Joe Rogan podcast. Talk more about it.
To go off that, yes, Ninja is right in his own regard, but I think I would even add to the fact that there are so many other benefits, like I've already told you guys about as well. And very lastly, before I share with you DrLupo's response and one response out there by TSM Chica that I thought was very well worded, there is a point that Joe is making, because there are a small percentage of people out there that are addicted to video games and get nothing out of it and only partake in said video games, but it's such a small percentage of people. That's why I think a lot of us are taking it the wrong way, because we do live our everyday lives. We do play video games. We see other benefits from video games whilst maintaining a regular life away from them. I don't think that's who Joe is referring to, at least in my opinion. Here's DrLupo's statement as well, which was also a bit, abrupt, which again, can't really blame him. Stating, listening to this podcast is a waste of time. It's all you do all day and wait for the next episode. Generalized bad take is bad. Anything can be harmful in excess. Video games have made many people successful. They're the cause for a majority of my friendships, etc. Boom! Short, sweet, simple, to the point. I would say one of my more favorite responses was actually from TSM Chica. It's the last response I'll share with all of you, and I'm sure I'll get some comments saying I'm simping, but no, I just like their response. She said, I think the main problem here is the notion that a fun activity needs to produce money to be worth your time. What if it makes you happy? What if you bond with your friends and get stress relief through video games? So bada bing, bada boom, you guys can think what you want about this one. I got no hard feelings for a guy like Joe. I think he did misword it. He comes from the scene himself. In a sense, he's a fan of video games. He's a fan of esports and their future. And it's just one last call, you know? Let's end on this one, guys. A happy note out there. If there is one figure out there you would like to see on the Joe Rogan podcast, the JRE podcast, leave a comment down below. Who would it be? Would it be Ninja? Nicky Boy, Nicky Merckx? Would it be Tim the Tatman, DrLupo? Who would you guys want on there to represent all of us? Until next time, take care. Drink that water. Drink that coffee. I'll catch you guys back here all day long.